There were a lot of white people who were doing and making crack. But if you watched news accounts, which I've done from that period, you would think that it was something that was exclusively within the black community. There was a show called 48 Hours, and they had an episode called 48 Hours on Crack Street. And you can imagine what Crack Street was. It was an all-black community where people were doing crack, and they portrayed it in a way where it just looked like it was the worst place in the world. In fact, when 48 Hours started to fail as a TV show, they went back to the well and had another 48 Hours on Crack Street.
We lock up kids every day, and by the time we finish the paperwork, they're back on the streets before we are. Juveniles, 10, 15, 13, 12, from 9 years on up.
Take, for instance, one guy, we locked him up July 14th. We locked him up again July 22nd. And then I think different guys locked him up again August the 6th. The same kid, 13 years old.
Every street corner in this city, there's stuff being sold?
Every street in Elizabeth has somebody dealing drugs on it.
Expect this operation to open up again, maybe in a week or so, from another apartment.
Now, how does that make you feel? Didn't stop me. I lock him up again tomorrow. I'll lock him up till I can't lock him up anymore.
So that kind of sensationalism really drove this perception of crack being tied to black communities. Not that it didn't affect black communities, it did. It was being portrayed as exclusively a problem of black communities. And when we talk about racism and the effect of racism in the public sphere, that really matters. This kind of sensationalism went all the way to the presidential level. President George H.W. Bush wanted to get more funding for the DEA. And he did a stunt where he asked the DEA to go and arrest someone selling crack in Lafayette Park across the street from the White House. So the DEA goes over there. There's nobody selling crack in Lafayette Park. So they went to an 18-year-old kid and who was selling crack somewhere else and said, hey, can you come over and sell that to us in Lafayette Park? Posing as buyers. And the kid's like, well, why? And they're like, well, we just want to meet you there. And so he did. And then the next thing you know, George H.W. Bush is on TV holding up a vial of crack saying this was purchased right across the street from the White House.
Good evening. This is the first time since taking the oath of office that I felt an issue was so important, so threatening, that it warranted talking directly with you, the American people. All of us agree that the gravest domestic threat facing our nation today is drugs. Drugs have strained our faith in our system of justice. Our courts, our prisons, our legal system are stretched to the breaking point. And I will ask you to get involved in what promises to be a very difficult fight. This is crack cocaine, seized a few days ago by drug enforcement agents in a park just across the street from the White House.
That's the kind of manipulation of facts that underlay what was perceived to be this pandemic of crack. I mean, think about how pernicious that is.